Hello, guys. Welcome to another exciting episode on the show, Control or Be Controlled, podcast designed to help you start thinking differently and take control of your life. And I remain your host, Darlington. Today's guest is Arch Force, the founder of Arch Force Proposal, one of the first marriage proposal planning companies in the world. Ash began her journey as a photographer in New York City's music and nightlife scene, capturing authentic human moments and the energy of people at their most alive. Ash, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Darlington. It's great to meet you.
All right, so just I'm just wondering, your name is Ash, or there's more to it? Is that the short form of your name, or that's
It is a short form. And you know what? Nobody asked me that before on here. But yeah, it is a short form. My full name was Sarah Ashley. And when I first got started with my professional career, it's kind of funny because I had a blog back in the early days. Do you remember blogs when people had they
yeah,
posted
yeah, yeah.
not Substack, similar to Substack, but yeah. And so I had this blog, and back then it was like 2010 or 9 or 10, and people didn't really put their real name out as much because it was people were more shy, like you and I talked about. Like people were more shy to put their name out there, and so a lot of blogs had like a name that they used for the blog, and so I was like, okay, I'll use this name. And then I started meeting people from my blog. I got invited to parties and everyone's Ash, Ash, Ash. So I was like, you know what? All right, we'll go with my middle name. We'll use Ash. So that's what happened. And then that was the origin story.
So I think now you prefer Ash to Ashley.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so I would like us to get into the questions I have here for you.
Great.
Okay, so you started as a photographer in New York's music and nightlife scene. Can you tell us what drew you to capturing human moments, and how did that eventually lead you into proposal planning?
Yes. Well, I started out, going back since I mentioned the blog, I'll tell you the full story. I started out, I was really into rock and roll music and I had this blog where I would show rock and roll fashion, and that was like this passion of mine when I was in college and graduating college. And I ended up um becoming a photographer. Long story long, but basically it happened through my blog as well as the name, as well as my name and all these things that happened through my rock and roll blog because I got invited to these parties. Next thing you know, I got invited to be the photographer for these parties, and I didn't even know anything about photography. I was young at the time. I never tried it before. Someone gave me a camera and was like, go for it. And but that's how I learned to be a photographer in this like rock and roll and music scene. And one thing led to the next. I loved this music scene. It was amazing, really incredible people, famous musicians and new musicians getting their start and artists. And I love photographing these people. But at a certain point, the scene was changing and it was moving towards these like nightclubs where you're up all night. And I didn't even like the music there. And people are doing, drugs and things that I didn't want to be around. And so I remember telling my dad, I'm like, I need to get out of this night world. And he's like, you know what? You need to be a photographer for, family parties, baptisms, corporate events, and all of these things. And so I took a leap of faith and I was scared to do it, but I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll try it. I'll try it. And so along the way, I had at that point photographed numerous weddings and baptisms and all kinds of cool events. And one day, someone asked me to do their marriage proposal and photograph their marriage proposal. And I thought it
Oh,
was so strange. I was like, why would you want a marriage proposal photograph? Because you have to remember back then, Darlington, this was not something people did. Instagram had just, I think, launched, but people in those days, there was Facebook, but people weren't sharing every little bit of their lives the way they do now. Like now it's like people got their camera going all day long with like reels and every part of their life they're showing. But back then people didn't. And so it was very unique and curious to me. Like, why would you want this very intimate moment? I thought that that was supposed to be like a precious private moment. And that was my own little judgment of it. But I went ahead and I did this proposal. And I saw and I was like, this is actually one of the most romantic moments in a couple's life together. And so I was, it just was really interesting the way that I saw it. And then next thing you know, I got asked to do another marriage proposal. And it just was like the universe was pushing me in this direction. It was not even something I was necessarily looking for or seeking out. Proposals found me and proposals continue to find me. And it just has kept on going. So after so many years of photographing proposals, I then expanded because I realized, my clients, it's not that my clients just need photography. I mean, they absolutely do. And that was my specialty, like really beautiful photography of the moment. And capturing, all the emotions of it and capturing it in a sneaky way and helping them with the decoys and how to surprise her and catch their girlfriend off guard and all of that. And so I really became like more than a photographer. Became an advisor and like almost like like a coach to my clients, really helping them through the whole process from like coming up with a really great proposal idea to how to do it, how to execute it. And then along the way, I decided, you know what, I'm going to offer full service proposal planning because sometimes my clients now it wasn't just that they need help with ideas and strategy and decoys and photography, but they have other things they need. They might want a private venue for their proposal, or they might want decorations, or they might want a live musician or a videographer. And so I built this whole beautiful little team, and now we do full service proposal planning in New York City. We help people from all over the world get engaged. And we have clients who are proposing in other places outside of New York City. We have people proposing in Europe and in other parts of America, LA, Denver, things like that. But for the most part, we're working with people and proposing in New York City, which is really cool because it's such a incredible, iconic city. And that was the origin of my story.
All right, thank you so much. That particular story just covered like two or three of my questions. Thank you so much. So, after witnessing so many proposals, tell us what patterns that you have noticed among couples who seem deeply connected and ready for marriage. Because there are some proposals that end at proposal. Right?
Well, Darlington, what's funny? And this comes up all the time. But one thing I'll just tell you is that most proposals, at least, and I'm just speaking to, America, like the American audience. I know that because things are so different in many different parts of the world. But in like the Western and American tradition of proposing today, as it stands today, and I'm speaking generally and broadly, most people are having conversations before they propose to make sure the person wants to be proposed to. So couples are talking about marriage originally. They're being like, oh, are you ready for marriage? Am I ready for marriage? Are we ready to start a family? Do we want to have a wedding in the next year? Like people are having these conversations. It's not like, sometimes you see online, especially YouTube, YouTube is the biggest culprit for this, but YouTube, you'll see these videos and it's these no proposals where a guy will propose and she's like, no, and the crowd screams and it has like 10 million views on it. And honestly, these proposals are fake. Like, I'm not the authority on this, but I'm pretty sure based on the real proposals I see all the time, that these proposals are actually like what is the word? Like staged proposals because people want the YouTube views. Because if you get a video to like 10 million views, you get paid on it, a lot of money. And so it's worth it to make, like people are making these all the time, these fake ones. So I think that's why people think like, oh, she might say no. But the truth of the matter is, with my clients, everyone says yes. And we've done over 3,000 proposals. Everyone says yes because my couples already know that they want to be married. They already know they want to get engaged to this person. They already know they love them. They already know they're ready. So I think that answers part of your question, if that's helpful.
Yeah, sure. So definitely for me, I do not believe most of those proposals are fake because I think there are some parts of the world that they don't have those conversations. They
Okay.
believe they are already partners already, and they believe that this person we want to get married to me, and I want to get married to this person. So whenever I propose, she's going to say yes. Because most of the times when I watch proposals videos and I see the couple reaction and they react so surprised, like, wow, how, wow, they are so happy. So I asked myself, is it that she's not aware from the beginning that he was going to propose to her?
Well, you know what? Most people, so I'll explain. What I think it is that so 99% of my clients come in the door to me and they're like, Ash, I want to propose to my girlfriend, but I'll just tell you, she knows it's coming. She just doesn't know when. And so, how do we catch her off guard so she doesn't know when I'm going to do it? And so that's really where my job comes in. Like, how can we really surprise her in the moment? So, yes, you're right. Like, the part that they're not surprised by is that he wants to get married. The part that they're surprised by is that he's doing it right now, if that makes sense.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So tell us some of the biggest mistakes people make when planning a proposal.
Honestly, I'll tell you truly what I think the biggest mistake is. And it's kind of a controversial one because I think people think this is a good idea, but just in my experience, I found that this actually adds a lot more stress. Is too many people helping, like looking for help from too many people and close family members and friends. And I know this is controversial because a lot of times when someone's getting engaged, friends and family want to help. But what I've seen is it can cause so much extra stress that wasn't even necessary at all. And what I mean by that is sometimes there's a number of things that can go wrong here. One is the more people you tell, the more people can spill the beans that you're proposing. The more people can accidentally spoil the surprise. Two, the next reason why it makes it stressful is that a lot of times friends and family, while I know they mean well and I know that they want to, they want the best for the person they love, but sometimes they aren't correct about what their brother or sister or, son, whatever, daughter actually wants because they're not them. And so what I recommend for my clients, so those are two reasons. The third reason is sometimes when people involve friends and family, another reason the surprise can get spoiled is sometimes they want to watch it or come there and they can, be seen and basically again ruin the surprise. It's like, Mom, why are you here? You know what I mean? So these are the types of things. And so the reason what I just find, also, sorry, I'm just going, my brain is a little bit scattered, but the other reason why I don't recommend it is that sometimes it's just too many people that then you feel like you have to people please for. Because while you love your friends and family, now you're feeling like, okay, well, they want to be there to watch, but maybe that's not what you and your partner want. Maybe you want to have a private proposal and then celebrate with the family at an engagement party later or celebrate the family, at the wedding. But when you involve friends and family, now people are putting their input in. Oh, well, we want to watch. And now you're accommodating all these people. And so that is why I really recommend keeping it really simple. If you know you want to propose, best to tell the least number of people possible. Maybe you're asking the parents' permission. Maybe you're asking her dad for the blessing, or maybe you're asking her mom for the blessing. Like, that's fine. But the less people who know, the better. And the less people involved in the proposal, the better. And that's why what I do exists. And I'm not saying I'm not just pitching myself, but the reason why the beauty of my service is that it's really just about the couple. So my client comes in the door and I want him to tell me about his girlfriend, what he knows she loves, what he knows her interests are, who they are as a couple, what their favorite songs are. Does she like a more private proposal? Would she like a more public proposal? Like, what really is their vibe as a couple? Because now it's coming from him. I know it's coming from him. He knows her better than anyone on a romantic level. And so yeah, that's what my focus is, my client, and helping him create something that feels good to him, where he doesn't feel like he's getting pressure from the outside world, from, anyone, from keeping up with the Joneses and his friend group to pressure from family. He's focused on what feels good to him, what feels good to his budget, and creating something that's going to be an amazing experience for him and his partner.
Thank you so much. So you work mostly with people during one of the most emotional moments of their lives. What have you learned about communication, vulnerability, and trust?
To start off, communication is so important because, like I said, it's not smart to propose to someone if you don't know the answer is yes. Because why go through all this trouble creating these, incredible experiences, planning trips, planning photography, planning all of these elements if you're not going to, if you don't know that they want to get engaged, right? So it's very important to communicate and have conversations before the proposal about, hey, babe, like, how are you feeling in the next year? Do you think that you'd want to get married anytime soon? Or do you think that you would want to, start a family pretty soon? Like, it's good to know your partner's timelines on these things. It's important to know these things. And then additionally, the vulnerability piece is so essential because a proposal is a very vulnerable thing. It's about you know, getting down on your knee for the most part. I mean, we do that in the Western world. I know we don't do that all over the world. Not every culture does that. But at least in Western cultures, that there's a tradition of getting down on your knee and speaking from the heart, giving a speech, telling your partner why you love them, why you're ready to get engaged, and presenting them with an object of a value like a ring. So the whole thing is very very vulnerable because you're taking a risk. You're investing money a lot of times, you're investing your heart, you're putting your heart on the line. And so, that isn't for everyone at every time in life. Like, you really have to make sure that it's something you're ready for. And only you know that. And that's where, again, trust comes into play. And trust is really about trusting yourself here. Like I said, that is why, again, like I said, one of the mistakes people make is involving too many people in these decisions. It's like you need to know for yourself that you're ready to take these steps. And like I said, if you need help, you can get a professional's help, but you don't want to feel pressure from family who's saying, now it's time, you're 30 years old, it's time to get married, or even your partner can put pressure on you. And that's also not really, even though, sometimes a partner is right, sometimes a partner is right, that like, they know that maybe you're just a little bit scared, but it is ultimately going to be good for you guys. But at the same time, you want to come to these conclusions yourself. It's really important to have sovereignty over the choices you're making in your life and know that you trust yourself to make the right decision for yourself. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Ash. So, how did you turn a creative passion into a profitable luxury brand?
Oh, that's a lovely question. Well, You know, I think that it was one of those things again. I kind of just have followed the path and followed the needs of my clients. And so it's never been like I had just some grand idea, like I'm going to be a proposal planner, I'm going to create an industry out of nothing. It was more me, you know, working with one client, seeing what they needed, and then adapting my business to follow the needs of my clients. Like I said, I started with photography. I realized they needed more. They needed advisory. They needed help with ideas. I added that. Then, I added giving them private spaces and helping with them with all the other parts of the proposal. It's just kind of grown incrementally, but it's grown because of basing basing everything on my clients' needs and how to help them better.
Okay. So, from an entrepreneurial perspective, tell us what has been the biggest challenge in building a business around such a unique niche.
Well, the stakes are high. It's a very loaded moment because for a lot of people, it's a once in a lifetime moment. And so the stakes are high, the stress is high for them. And my goal is to take away their stress. Like my goal is to like be the person they can give the stress to so that they don't have to carry the stress. But that can be hard at times, right? Like I'm holding this for so many different people at a given time. Like they're putting their trust and their faith in me to carry out something really wonderful for them. So, it can be a little nerve wracking at times, but I'm so grateful to do what I do. And I have an amazing team to support me. And my clients are amazing. And I keep going because I love it. And I'm grateful to do this.
All right, Ash, thank you so much. So, here is my final question for you. You have been planning other people's proposal, right? Okay. How would you plan your own proposal?
Oh my goodness, Darlington. Well, okay. How would I plan my own proposal? Wow, that's a really fun question. I'll tell you what. I You won't believe it. As much as I have the feminine urge to plan my own proposal, and I'm a proposal planner, so I've got the entrepreneur proposal planner urge to plan my own proposal, I would not plan my own proposal because I feel that this is my partner's domain. That is his role, and it's not my role to be planning my proposal. My goal and my wish is that my partner knows me so well that he would want to, like all of my
No,
clients.
okay. Okay, I think I should ask the question again. What is the ideal way you will want your partner to plan your proposal?
Well, I'm saying I don't think it's I don't think it's my place to have that.
There's
You know what?
something that you want. You want something. First, you have been planning proposal for a lot of people. So there are some things that you want your partner to do
You're right. I like
for
the
your own
way that
proposal.
I like the way you're pushing me on this. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I've been hesitant to do that because I'll tell you why, Darlington, because I feel very firmly that with a proposal, there's a proposer and there is a receiver of the proposal. There's the proposee, and it's important to be a good proposee. And so for me to impose like my whole idea of what I would want is like almost not being a good receiver of a proposal. I know I'm making it more complicated, but I would want my partner to know my likes and interests. I'd want him to know that like yeah, I am a more private person, but I don't need a fully private rented out venue the way that I do for my clients. I like gardens, I like flowers. Um, I would want him to take his time to write, a really nice speech for me. I would want him not to rush it. I'd want him to take it slow. These are the things. I would want him to put some thought and care into it. I would want him to remember that I'm the proposal queen. And so as humble as I am, he needs to step it up for the proposal queen.
Okay.
And I
So
tell him that.
just curious, does he know all this right now?
He does know that, and I mean, I think Darlington, I'll have to report back, but I think my spidey sense says something's happening very soon. So the next time you see me, my hands will not be bare.
All right. Looking forward to it, honestly, honestly. So thank you so much. Thank you,
Oh,
Ashley, for sharing your. I just called you Ashley. Oh, sorry. Thank you,
that's fine.
Ash.
That's fine. Ashley's
Ah,
fine.
thank you for sharing your incredible journey and giving us a behind the scenes look at the world of proposals and relationships and creating unforgettable moments. The story
One,
shows that sometimes the most meaningful businesses are built by noticing a need, following a passion, and creating something that helps people celebrate the moments that matter most to them. So, for those who would like to connect with you, those who want to plan a proposal, someone like me, I don't have a partner yet, so I might not
you
be
will.
needing your services. So, how can they connect with you?
Instagram is a great place. My Instagram is Ash Fox Proposals. And then I've got a website, ashfoxproposals.com. I'm also on TikTok at Ash Fox Proposals. So find me any of those places. And also, if you want free advice on proposing, I have a podcast called the Proposal Podcast.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. So, thank God we have a video podcast. So, I will likely upload a clip of this on TikTok and tag you because I'm on TikTok as well. Okay. So, for all my listeners, thank you. For all my listeners, remember that love is not just found in the big moments, it is built through intention, communication, and the small choices that we make every day. Ash, thank you once again for joining us. We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, and thank you for coming. And do
Thank you.
have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you, Darlington. I appreciate it. It was wonderful. It was
Bye,
great to
Ash.
meet you.
Thank you
Bye.
so much. Bye.